Good evening and welcome to the news roundup for Friday, May 12th. Before we get into the news, please remember to like this video, share your views in the comments, and share the video with your family and friends.
Teach them! Always make sure the message reach them!
Now for the news in detail. Dr. Dana Morris Dixon and Apka Fitzhenley will join the ranks of government senators. They will replace Natalie Campbell Rodriguez and Leslie Campbell, who have resigned from the upper house. Prime Minister Andrew Holness had written to Governor General Sir Patrick Allen recommending the appointment of Morris Dixon and Fitzhenley. They were sworn in at Friday's sitting of the Senate.
I, Dana Marie Elizabeth Morris Dixon, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Jamaica, that I will uphold and defend the Constitution and the laws of Jamaica, and that I will conscientiously and impartially discharge my responsibilities to the people of Jamaica. So help me God.
I, Abka Lincoln Ramon Fitzhenley, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Jamaica, that I will uphold and defend the Constitution and laws of Jamaica, and that I will conscientiously and impartially discharge my responsibilities to the people of Jamaica. So help me God.
Holness thanked Senators Campbell Rodriguez and Campbell for what he terms their impeccable service and said the new Senate appointments are part of efforts to revitalize the government. Following a meeting of the JLP's National Executive Council in St. James on April 30, Holness had hinted that a cabinet reshuffle could be on the cards, though he stayed clear of providing specific details on the issue. The United States on Thursday issued an updated advisory for Jamaica, listing areas in 4 additional parishes prohibited for travel due to increased risk of violence. The U.S. State Department says sections of St. Elizabeth, Manchester, St. Thomas, and Trelawney have been included on the Do Not Travel list for its citizens. Portland and St. Mary are the only parishes not included. Jamaica remains on level 3 on the travel advisory. The State Department noted that the Jamaica Constabulary Force does not respond effectively to serious criminal incidents, and when arrests are made, cases are infrequently prosecuted to a conclusive sentence. It also said families of U.S. citizens killed in crashes or murders frequently wait a year or more for final death certificates to be issued by Jamaican authorities. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency seized over 12 pounds of cocaine on a flight from Jamaica on Thursday at Philadelphia International Airport. CBP said the drugs, with a street value of US $400,000, was on a flight that arrived from Montego Bay. The cocaine was concealed behind a cargo hold blowout panel in a drawstring bag. Officers extracted 5 bricks of white powdery substance which tested to be cocaine. CBP said no arrest was made. An off-duty cop prevented an attempted robbery on Thursday in Kingston 11 and apprehended one of 2 armed men. The suspect, identified as 34-year-old Dave Clark, was charged with possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, shooting with intent, and assault with an intent to rob. The off-duty policeman seized a 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 7 rounds of ammunition. Clark's court date is yet to be finalized. An elderly construction worker was shot and killed at a construction site in Hopewell, Hanover, while a woman nearby was also injured. The man was carrying out work when he was attacked by armed men. This incident is the 3rd in a series of gun attacks in the Hopewell community over the past week. Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced that the government will soon unveil further steps to push the country towards a digital society. Speaking at a commissioning service for 3 community Wi-Fi access points, Holness stated that the country has already taken significant strides towards digitalization, such as the establishment of the National Identification System and the implementation of a digital currency. Holness also acknowledged that some people remain hesitant to embrace technology and promised support for those individuals. The community Wi-Fi will serve Tower Avenue, Cockburn Pen, and Penwood, and is part of a larger government initiative to ensure access to information and communications technology throughout the country. Davian Bryan has pleaded guilty to rape, forcible abduction, and indecent assault concerning the abduction of 2 girls in Bath, St. Thomas in October of 2021. He, however, pleaded not guilty to other charges, including grievous sexual assault, attempted forcible abduction, and unlawful wounding. Bryan is said to be sentenced on May 31st. In addition, he was accused of abducting a female pedestrian in Portland in March of 2022 and raping her. A man identified as Trevon Stoddard was found dead with multiple chop wounds and his throat slashed in Canaan District, St. James on Thursday night. His left hand was also severed. Residents discovered the body and alerted the police. Stoddard is the 3rd person killed in the Canaan community this week. 2 other men were shot and killed in the same vicinity on Wednesday morning. A reprisal attack stemming from a gang feud that erupted in Mount Salem, St. James on Monday has resulted in 2 men being shot and seriously injured at the intersection of Cottage Road and the Mount Salem Main Road in Montego Bay on Thursday night. The victims, a taxi operator and a musician, have been admitted to hospital. It is reported that about 9 p.m., the taxi operator was transporting passengers from downtown Montego Bay towards Mount Salem when armed men traveling in a station wagon motorcar blocked their path. The men alighted from the vehicle and opened fire on the taxi, hitting both men multiple times before speeding away from the scene. The police were summoned, and upon arrival, the wounded men were transported to hospital where they were treated and admitted in serious condition. Thursday's incident followed the shooting deaths of 3 men from the area this week. A man was shot and killed during an alleged confrontation with members of the security forces in Trelawney early Thursday morning. The deceased, identified as 23-year-old Denobi Pritchard of Water Lane, Falmouth, was reportedly served a warrant by members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force around 5:15 a.m. It is alleged that Pritchard pointed a gun at the security forces who had entered his house and was subsequently shot. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. An illegal firearm and several rounds of ammunition were seized during the operation. On Wednesday, 1 woman was killed and 2 other women wounded in a shooting at a shop in Bottom Hall, Clarendon. The deceased was identified as 37-year-old Tara Fullerton, who received multiple gunshot wounds to her upper body. According to reports, the women were playing bingo when a man alighted from a silver Toyota Axia motorcar and opened fire. The police believe Fullerton was the target of the attack. The shooter escaped. A man was shot and killed in Clarendon in what police believe to be a reprisal for a shooting 6 months ago. The victim, Norman Bingham, was found with gunshot wounds to his foot and upper body and was pronounced dead at hospital. The police report suggests that Bingham was killed for a November shooting in Clarendon, which he was believed to have been responsible for. Bingham had been previously targeted in several police operations regarding illegal guns and ammunition. A 19-year-old sixth form student in St. James has been arrested and charged with having sexual intercourse with a person under the age of 16 years old. The charge came after the accused was reportedly caught having sex with a 14-year-old girl at his home. The girl left her home for school but did not arrive. After her relatives received information that she was last seen going to the accused boy's home, they reported the matter to the police. The police found the girl hiding under the accused boy's bed in her underwear. Both the accused and the girl were taken into custody, and the former was later charged. Sarita Housen Blair has been sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 18 years before being eligible for parole. She pleaded guilty to murdering her common-law partner Kenton Brown by dousing him in gasoline and setting him on fire in May of 2017. Brown died 4 days later from his injuries. Prosecutors presented evidence, including transcripts of a deathbed interview given by Brown to a police constable, in which he recounted the attack. House and Blair's lawyer struck a plea agreement with prosecutors to reach the sentencing decision. A suspect has been arrested in connection with the murder of bartender Shana Burke in Ochorea, St. Anne on Saturday night. The St. Anne police detained the suspect in Racecourse District in St. Mary on Wednesday. The suspect will be questioned with a view of being charged. Reports suggest that Burke was found dead in a bathroom with multiple stab wounds after she did not return from using the restroom while at work in a bar in the Ochorea market. A Jamaica Defense Force soldier, Private Jerome McCarthy, is believed to have drowned during a training exercise at the National Stadium pool in St. Andrew on Thursday. The soldier was found unresponsive in the pool and was rushed to the University Hospital of the West Indies for medical attention, but was pronounced dead on arrival. McCarthy's family and friends have been expressing shock and sadness at his death. Police in St. Mary are investigating the mental state of an 18-year-old suspect who allegedly sexually assaulted a 7-year-old girl earlier this week. The teen, who is now in custody, was found hiding under a bed in a house in the area. Residents claim that the suspect is mentally challenged, and police are attempting to verify these assertions. The girl was found under a tree in the area after being both physically and sexually assaulted. Jamaica's plan to impose mandatory minimum sentences for certain crimes have been boosted by a Privy Council ruling. The Privy Council upheld the minimum sentence of 15 years imprisonment for a 17-year-old convicted of illegal possession of a firearm, robbery with aggravation, and wounding with intent to cause grievous bodily harm. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck said the government would continue to impose minimum mandatory sentences to send a clear message to criminals. However, Jamaicans for Justice argued that the mandatory minimum sentencing could violate someone's constitutional rights and lead to chronic overcrowding in correctional centers. In business, the Maritime Authority of Jamaica, MAJ, is expanding its services to include bunkering, ship repair, and crewing to position Jamaica as a shipping center. The MAJ recently approved Shell Liquefied Natural Gas LNG to commence operations in Jamaica as the 4th bunkering operator and the first involving LNG. The country is expected to become an LNG bunkering hub, increasing its competitiveness as a shipping center. A floating dry dock will arrive in Jamaica by the end of the year, which will be used to repair mainly commercial vessels and generate employment and foreign exchange earnings. Additionally, the MAJ and the Maritime Administration of Norway have entered into a reciprocal agreement to facilitate the placement of Jamaican seafarers on Norwegian-registered vessels stationed in Portland Bight. In the region, the government of Guyana plans to go to the International Chamber of Arbitration in France to recover over $1 billion owed by the government of Panama to the Guyana Rice Development Board. The debt resulted from a deal made with the previous administration for the supply of 9,000 tons of rice, which was credited to Panama upon delivery. The current Guyanese administration has attempted to regain the money through diplomatic avenues, but with no success. In response, rice millers have filed legal proceedings in the High Court against the Rice Development Board to have the agency pay for the rice sold to the Panamanian government. On the international scene, former U.S. Marine Daniel Penny has been arrested and charged with second-degree manslaughter in connection with the chokehold death of Jordan Neely on a subway train in New York City. Penny turned himself in and appeared in court but did not enter a plea. Prosecutors said that a thorough investigation, including interviews with eyewitnesses, 911 callers, and responding officers, led to the criminal charge. Video showed Penny putting Neely in a chokehold following outbursts from Neely on a train, which resulted in Neely's death. Neely had a documented mental health history and was homeless at the time of his death. And in sports, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, the 5-time world 100-meter champion, has withdrawn from the Kip Keino Classic in Nairobi, Kenya, due to a knee injury. She had been expected to make her season debut in the 100-meter, but reportedly suffered the injury during training on Thursday. Fraser-Pryce confirmed via social media that she had left the country to seek treatment. This is the second time this season that she has had to postpone her season, having withdrawn from last month's Golden Grand Prix in Botswana due to a family emergency. And that is it for your news roundup for today. We would appreciate you liking this video, leaving a comment, and sharing the video with your family and friends. Have a good evening and see you next time.
Teach them! Hey, yo, hello! Send the message and make it reach them. It's teach them. Right here, Warlord representing.
Thank you for watching. Like the video before you go. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. And remember to share the video with your friends and family. And browse the channel for more quality content. Until next time, walk good, my friends.
Teach them!